In today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about silver, a little bit about gold, and a little bit about what I want for Christmas. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about what I actually want for Christmas. And yes, plot twist, I do want silver and gold, but I want something much more than just the money. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. Got the limited edition Christmas line out now until Christmas. I actually have one of the hoodies on right now. It's helping raise a little bit of funds and awareness for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, so it's for a good cause. And of course, make sure to go and get your 2 free stocks by downloading Weeble. The link will be in the description. For every 3 friends you refer this month, you get a spin on the Weeble wheel, and you can get 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, or even 10 shares of Apple, each worth over $150 right now. And like I said, for every 3 friends, you get a spin. You refer 6, you get 2 spins. You refer 9, you get 3. Weeble link in the description. So today, if you haven't been able to tell, I am in the woods. This is where I like to come sometimes, just for, I guess, my own sanity. Get away from all the noise in the world. I'm actually filming this on Sunday, December 5th, 2021. It's probably not going to come out until the 11th or the 12th. I don't know, I'll figure that out. I'm gonna circle around. They have a trail, and I'm gonna come back to this area right here because I want to talk about them. So being that I'm filming this video pretty far in advance, or about a week in advance, I have no idea what the spot price of silver or gold are going to be by the time the video comes out. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. So as you can tell, I'm in the woods, and if you haven't been able to catch on already, I will not be filming an overly structured or organized video today. This is just going to be more of a thinking out loud type of video, and obviously a pretty beautiful change of scenery. Sorry that I don't have a whole bunch of silver and gold on display. I did take a coin with me just in case anybody wanted something shiny to look at. But I wanted to talk about a couple of different things today. I wanted to talk about the silver, I wanted to talk about the gold, and I also want to talk about what I want for Christmas. Now, first things first, of course I want silver and gold for Christmas, which is why I'll be picking up silver periodically throughout the month, as I do every month. I'll get myself a little bit of silver as a Christmas present. And I don't believe I will be picking up any new gold this month. I got 3 new pieces of gold in November, and I'm just letting those carry over. I think those are going to be additional Christmas presents to myself. I don't think I'll be able to get any new gold. Look at this. This beats sitting in an office. Haven't been out here in a while, but they have a nice trail. So in addition to the silver and the gold, in addition to the money, in addition to the assets, in addition to the wealth, I want something else for Christmas. And funny enough, this is the same thing I've asked for every Christmas, at least when it comes to my family. I tell them that I want nothing. And by that I don't mean, oh, I don't want anything, you don't have to get me anything. No, I specifically want to receive nothing. And the funny thing is, that's just because I don't like clutter. I don't like things getting stacked up on top of each other, unless they're silver or gold coins, rounds, or bars. I don't like clutter. I don't like receiving gifts. I don't like things being all over the place. I'm a bit of a minimalist. But what I actually want for Christmas It's something that isn't necessarily an object. It's not necessarily something that you can purchase and wrap up and give to somebody. Probably a little bit cliche or cheesy. And again, I am a major cheeseball, so I guess it kind of fits. But I just want myself and my family and my friends and everyone in my life to be happy, healthy, and guess what? Wealthy. You see, if you didn't already know, that's what the DYDSS brand is all about. It's to push a happy, healthy, and wealthy lifestyle on the people of planet Earth. That is how I've been describing it for several years at this point. And it's true. Health, wealth, and happiness. Which, by the way, this guy's got the right idea. Which, by the way, is how I try to live my life. And in no way, shape, or form am I going to sit here and claim to be a guru and say that I know all the tips and tricks and every itty-bitty detail on how to become the happiest, healthiest, and wealthiest person in the world. Absolutely not. In fact, that's something that I'm working on myself each and every day, which is why I'm posting videos each and every day. Usually about silver and gold, but they always have a little bit of a twist, and there are a lot of silver and gold videos out there that you can watch, but I don't think any of them intertwine some of what I talk about in those videos. Health, wealth, and happiness. Now, I could go on a whole rant about steps that I've been taking to become a happier, healthier, and wealthier person. I don't know if that's what everybody is coming to this video for, so I'll make this quick, and this kind of explains why I'm outside right now. I read this article a couple of years ago. I thought it was pretty interesting, and then I kind of forgot all about it. And then this year, I came across a similar article talking about the same topic, and it had something to do with how there are some doctors out there, here in the US, other countries as well, there are some doctors in the world who suggest that flu season might not actually exist, and perhaps we should refer to it as vitamin D deficiency season. I thought that was a pretty interesting take, and I'm not a doctor, so what do I know? But it is true if you think about it. As summer comes to an end, and as we get deeper into the fall, when does it normally start to get cold? Or relatively cold, or cold enough to not be walking around in a tank top and shorts? Probably September going into October, which to my understanding is when the quote-unquote flu season typically begins. And coincidentally, you go all of September, all of October, all of November, all of December, all of January, all of February, and probably most of March, and maybe even most of April, locked away inside, away from the sun, where you get natural vitamin D. And if you were to go outside, you're probably not going to be overly exposed to the sun. And if you are, it's for a very quick period of time. Run from the garage to the car, then you sit in the car, you drive to work, you hop out of the car, and you run inside the building, and then you're inside all day, and then you do the same thing on the way out when you're going home. You park in the driveway, and then you run inside. You get virtually no sun at all. And the amount of sun that you do get, minimal exposure. Because you're not wearing shorts, you're not wearing t-shirts, you're probably wearing long sleeves like what I'm wearing right now, jeans, boots. I mean, think about it. Only your face and hands get exposed to the sun. If that, because once again, wintertime, gloves, scarves, hats, and hoods. So you get virtually no natural vitamin D at all, which is why this year I'm experimenting with a vitamin D3 supplement. I'm just curious to know whether or not it's going to have much of an impact on me, or if it's going to have any type of effect at all. That's just something I'm experimenting with, but it's something to take into consideration. Moving away from health, I could also mention, not only out here getting a little bit of sunlight, minimal, but still sunlight, but I'm also getting some exercise. Crucial. But moving away from health, I could talk about happiness as well. Somebody asked on Twitter, either last night or this morning. This morning I responded to it, but the question was something along the lines of, in one sentence, how could you describe your purpose? And I don't remember word for word how I replied to it, but it was something along the lines of showing up every day and reminding people, despite all the noise in the world, there's still plenty to be hopeful for, and there's still plenty of reasons to be happy and positive. And I stand by that for a variety of different reasons. Once again, that's what the DYDSS brand is all about. Positive mental attitude in a world full of negativity and toxicity and narcissism and craziest. A little bit of positivity, which I like to think for a lot of people is a little bit of a refreshing change of pace. A lot of people, whether you go to work or whether you sit down with the family or whether you bump into a stranger, what do you normally hear people talk about? That's a question, by the way, I'd like to hear in the comments what people talk about when you just bump into them or catch up with somebody or sit down at the dinner table or whatever the case may be. For me, what I hear a lot of the time is complaints, whether it be about the bills, whether it be about really anything in the world. Doctors, oh, the doctor didn't call me back. I tried to make an appointment and they didn't call me back, and this happened and that happened. They're going to charge me for this and this is going to happen, and I have this bill coming up and these terrible, horrible things are going on, and my neighbor is an idiot, parked his car, blocked part of my driveway. A lot of people are on edge, and a lot of people complain about really everything. And when you stumble upon a video, not to pat myself on the back or anything like that, but when you stumble upon a video or you bump into somebody that has positive energy, high energy, and they're enthusiastic and they're ready to go and they're excited to take on the day, I like to think that that's a refreshing change of pace. And the reason I can say that is because I have bumped into people like that, and it absolutely is a refreshing change of pace for me. All right, this is kind of the end of the trail. I want to get to that point where I pointed out at the beginning of the video. It's right over there. But a refreshing change of pace. And energy is contagious. Something you may or may not realize is that when you sit down at the dinner table or you're conversing with people who have all of this negative energy and just they're complaining about everything and they're always on edge and it's always, the us versus them mentality, or they're unhappy about this or they're angry about that, that eats away at you. I'm going to get back to this point in a second, but I don't know how many of you would recognize this right here. Anyone that's been subscribed to my channel for 2.5 to 3 years at this point, you might recognize this bench right here. So what I used to do, a lot of you wouldn't even know this, but I never used to be quote-unquote anonymous in my videos. I never used to have the camera pointed down at the table with a bunch of silver and gold on display. The camera used to actually be pointed at me, and I would be holding up the silver and gold coins, rounds, and bars that I was talking about. The reason I switched it was just because of work. It was becoming a little bit of an issue. You see, if you're representing someone else's business or someone else's company, and you're doing things online or saying things online, and more people are starting to see it, and they might not want a representative of their company doing or saying those things. So I removed my face from the videos. But anyway, about this bench right here. One of my first big videos was filmed right here. I had the camera set up, I think, balancing right here. And I had it facing this way, and I was sitting right here, and it was a prepping video. And I was explaining why I'm preparing myself and why I'm stacking silver. Now, I've gone over this a countless number of times over the years, even in recent videos, so I won't reiterate too much, but one of the main reasons I'm stacking silver and gold, it's not for any doomsday type of thing, and same thing goes for all the ways that I'm prepping, whether it be stocking up on food. I got myself that water purification unit, I got myself a portable power station, I got myself a portable camping cooking stove, food dehydrators. I have multiple 5-gallon buckets filled to the brim with medical supplies, like basically customized, personalized first aid kits in big giant 5-gallon buckets, multiple of them, along with everything else that I'm doing when it comes to prepping. It's not necessarily for any doomsday type of scenario. For me personally, it's about more so financial preparation than anything else. Of course, the silver and gold are a form of financial prepping yourself and hopefully hedging against inflation or storing value or preserving wealth for the long term. We know all that. But all the other preps, I also consider to be somewhat of a form of financial prepping as well. Reason I say that is because the number one reason I'm prepping in the first place is to combat potential micro financial hardships. Now, I say micro, meaning something that happens specifically to me or maybe just the people in my area, rather than something large scale like long-term inflation impact or a dollar collapse or anything macro. The opposite of macro, something that happens on a micro level, such as potentially getting laid off of work or something going wrong with the company that I work for, or maybe I sustain an injury and I'm unable to perform the tasks required to do my job, and it puts me out of work temporarily or permanently or whatever the case may be. That's what I mean by micro. So as this all circles around to financial prepping is because if something happens to me or my job or my income, how am I going to buy the food that I need to eat to survive? How am I going to be able to buy first aid kits or medical supplies or anything? Whether it be a finger splint, whether it be a pill crusher, whether it be Band-Aids, whether it be peroxide, whether it be anything like that. Without income or without money, how am I supposed to purchase those things, especially during times where I need those things? How am I supposed to buy water if I don't have money to buy water? How am I supposed to do anything if I don't have the income to take care of what needs to be taken care of? So my theory or my idea was that, well, if I prep now and something were to go wrong, I will already be in possession of the things that I would ordinarily need to buy anyway. For example, get laid off work, or something happens with work, something goes wrong, something happens, and now I don't have that paycheck, or I have a smaller version of that paycheck coming in if I were to go on unemployment, if that's an option. What happens if, after I take care of what I need to take care of, I still have even more to take care of? See, that's why I've been loading up on a lot of the things that I've been loading up on. So if something were to go wrong in my life, or when it comes to my income, at the very least, I don't have to be nervous. How am I going to eat tonight? Because I will have a little bit of food stocked up. And guess what? I know that all sounded pretty negative, which is what I was referring to before, but it turns into a positive, because if something negative were to happen, I'll have a way of being able to combat it in a positive way. I won't have to go hungry. I won't have to deal with half the stuff that I have to deal with. Don't get me wrong, if something were to happen, I'm not invincible, and I'm well aware of that. However, I like to think that I'm far more prepared than the average person. And it's very easy to say that if you've been prepping for any amount of time at all. It's very easy to say, "Oh, I'm kind of prepared. I'm prepared if this happens, or I'm prepared if that happens." It's very easy to say that. But fortunately for me, I was able to put it to the test, and I can now say that with the utmost conviction. And when I say put it to the test, what I'm referring to was the first quarter of 2020. See, before everything came crashing down, I was, and this is something that a lot of you might not know, I was a full-time college student working 2 jobs and running this YouTube channel, still figuring out a way to get in the gym on a nearly daily basis. And guess what? Not only was I a full-time college student, I was going to 2 different colleges at the same time. I was taking my last 2 classes at one college. It was this, I forget what it was called. It was like this dual program. I don't remember exactly, but I was on track to graduating. Most people had 4 classes to go. I only had 2. So we basically structured it in a way which wasn't unheard of. It's just pretty uncommon. In the process of graduating from one college and moving on over to the other, transferring to the other, I was taking my last 2 classes with this college and taking my first 2 classes with the other college. So I was working 2 jobs, going to 2 different colleges, running this YouTube channel, which, by the way, I've been posting videos every single day. I have not missed a day since February of 2016. Looking back, I don't know how that was even possible. I managed to make it work. But point being is that March of 2020, when all that happened, it flipped everything upside down for me. College became online. One of the 2 jobs shut down. Or I'm sorry, I was working 3 jobs at the time. One was just a seasonal position, though. I was working my regular job, I was working a part-time job, and I was working a seasonal job. One of those jobs, the seasonal job, shut down nearly 2 years ago and has yet to come back. I haven't got many updates, but I'm pretty sure the ref counted to 10, and I think the fight's over for that job. I don't think they're coming back. Of the other 2 of 3 jobs, one shut down as well, temporarily, and then it reopened, and then it shut down again, and then it reopened again, which tells me, during times like these, that's not stable. So the conclusion that I came to was that this is a pretty bumpy road if I rely on it 100%. But point being is that college got flipped upside down for me. I lost 2 of my 3 sources of income. I got one of them back, then it was taken away again, then I got it back. And everything flipped upside down. And coincidentally, that's right around the time that my YouTube channel started doing very, very well. Because during times of economic uncertainty or financial hardships or whatever you want to refer to early 2020 as. This massive wave of people looking for answers just came to the internet. You see, before March of 2020, what I would talk about on my channel was considered to be boring. Nobody cared. Like, oh wow, okay, you talk about coins, oh how cool, wow, get a life, bro. You know how many comments I used to get about that? Get a life, bro. Oh, this guy loves coins so much, this guy's in bed with silver bars. I got so many comments like that. I would post videos about building credit. I would post videos about cashback programs. I would post videos about business. I would post videos about investing. I would post videos about really all things finance. And no one really cared. Then all of a sudden, March of 2020 stirred up this wave of frugality. And all of a sudden, personal finance became cool. All of a sudden, it was interesting or fascinating for everybody to learn about different ways of saving money or different ways of preserving wealth or storing value or capital appreciation or whatever the case may be. All of a sudden, that became the new popular trend. So as dear. So as, yeah, where was I? I lost my train of thought because of these guys right here. Okay, so as certain areas of my life got twisted and flipped upside down, other areas of my life started really improving. And I was able to focus a little bit more attention on growing this YouTube channel because all of a sudden I didn't have to drive myself to physically sit in college classrooms. And by the way, I finished that semester strong even though it was online. It was miserable doing it online, but hey, I was able to do it. And then upon finishing those last 2 classes at that one college, got my degree. And then I started my next semester with the new college. And for the first time in a couple of years, I said to myself, you know, I'm going to take a semester off because I used to take winter classes. I used to take a bunch of summer classes. I was just trying to get it all out of the way as quickly as possible. I was like, okay, how can I get in and get out in the shortest amount of time? So I was taking as many classes as I could. And by the way, I have a grand total of $0.00 worth of student loan debt, by the way, because I've never borrowed a penny to sit in those classrooms. I was paying out of pocket. So, not many people can say that. But when I stopped doing that dual enrollment or whatever it was called, 2 classes for this college, 2 classes at the other, I finished the other college, and now I was taking 4 or maybe even 5 classes at the other college. And I said to myself, whoa. Heard this guy running up on me. Thought I was about to have to throw hands. Just fooling around. So anyway, I was taking 4 or 5 classes at the new college, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to take my first semester off since before I even started college in the first place. Because I said to myself, you know what, this whole planet Earth shut down, it's going to be over in a couple of months. I'll take a semester off, and then everything will be back to normal. Here we are, 1.5 years, going on 2 years later. And then when I realized, okay, guess we're not going back to normal yet. I don't even know if we're going back to normal at all. I'll just suck it up and do these online classes. So I re-enrolled for the following semester. And then I was told, well, actually I was told a couple of different things. Number one, I was told tuition is going up by a noticeable amount. 2, I was told that I'm required to have that specific university's health insurance instead of my own, or instead of none at all. And I read through the rules of the college, and keep in mind, all these classes were online. I was reading through the rules on their website, and it said that that only applies for on-campus students. And I was like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I live an hour away from campus, and I won't be coming to campus. My entire semester is 100% online. Does that still apply to me? And they said yes, which I didn't consider to be very fair, but it is what it is. Then I found out that I'm trying to remember now. This was like early 2020. We're almost in 2022 at this point. Something got screwed up, and I remember telling them, I was like, well, if you want me to pay for this friggin' insurance thing, and if you want me to pay even more of my dollar bills for your increased tuition, I'm not sure that I can. Which, by the way, is pretty sad, by the way, because remember, I was working 3 jobs. How's a guy working 3 jobs still not have enough dollars to cover basic 4 or 5 class semester? That's pretty sad. Now, I don't think it should be free in any way, shape, or form, but I think it should actually be affordable. I don't think there's any reason in the world for it to be as expensive as it is. I don't think, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for textbooks. And then if you sell it back to the bookstore, they give you $7. I personally don't find that to be fair. Again, shouldn't be free, but it should be manageable, especially if you're someone working 3 friggin' jobs. But anyway, that's besides the point. I contacted the school, and I was like, I don't know. I'm working 3 jobs, and 2 of which I've got taken away from me because of this whole shutdown thing. You raise the price of tuition, and you want me to pay for your campus health insurance, even though I'm not an on-campus student. I don't know if I can afford that. And they said, well, okay, you can drop down to being a part-time student to make it more affordable. And I said, okay, I might be able to do that. And then they were like, but here's something I forgot to mention in the story. I was also on the, the dean's list almost every semester. I kept my grades up because guess what? I was paying for it. If you pay for something, if you pay for tuition, if you pay for anything, you're going to take it more seriously. I was paying out of pocket, therefore I took college far more seriously than most other people, and I was given a partial scholarship. So I was paying out of pocket, but I was also given a scholarship, which was helping. So after this conversation with whoever works for the school, they told me, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, your scholarship is only for full-time students. It's like, are you kidding me? I was like, well, what happens if I go down to part-time? They were like, well, then you lose your scholarship altogether. I was like, during a worldwide health crisis, where 2 of my 3 jobs have already gotten taken away? So I asked the question, and I worded it very strategically because I wanted the answer, whatever the answer was, I wanted to be crystal clear. I said to the woman on the phone, I said, during a worldwide health crisis where absolutely everything is in shambles, if I'm unable to pay for your price increases, will this school deprive me of an education? I worded it that way for a reason, and her answer was, I wouldn't word it like that. And I was like, all right, thank you, ma'am. You gave me exactly what I was looking for. Have a nice day. And I'll be honest with you, I had I think a 6-day deadline before I could drop the entire semester to get a 100% refund, because I had already started paying. But I had 6 days left, and I went all 6 days thinking about it. I did nothing but think about it. I realize this has nothing to do with what I want for Christmas. I don't know how we got here. Anyway, I had 6 days to think about it. I called up a couple of different people to get their input. I called up my uncle who lives down in Virginia. He's kind of a top dog, white collar job kind of guy. He actually offered to lend me a little bit of currency. I thanked him. I'm grateful, thankful, and appreciative for the offer, but I don't know. I can't take currency from people. So I respectfully declined. Talked to a couple of other people. Certain people said, they were like, hey, you should, suck it up and do it. And I was like, I don't have the currency to do it. How's that even possible? I can either drop the semester, get a full refund. I can drop half of my classes, get a partial refund, and lose my scholarship altogether. Or I can drop the entire idea of college and just get back to work and get back to building and get back to focusing on what I should be focusing on. Because I think it's also important to remember. Here's something else I forgot to mention earlier. That first college I was going to, that's all I really needed. This might sound a little bit ridiculous, but the reason I decided to transfer and do another couple of years at a different college was unnecessary. I mainly just wanted to challenge myself, and I figured, I was like, well, it's always a good thing to have. Could open up some doors for me in the long run. And I've never been one to quit something that I start. That's what was actually bothering me. I knew at the end of the day, it didn't matter whether I figured out a way to pay for it, went the next couple of years and got that secondary degree, or I dropped out entirely today and never go back. It probably all plays out the same. It's probably going to lead me to the same result either way, because I didn't need to be there in the first place. The hardest part was stepping away from something that I had set out to do. I've never been one to quit what I start. I don't like doing that. And to be honest with you, it's been about 1.5 years since I made the decision to drop the entire semester altogether, and I've yet to go back, and I have no need to go back. I have no real desire to go back, but who knows, maybe one day I'll set out to officially complete what I started, but at the moment I have no plan of doing that. Anyway, like I said before, this has absolutely zero to do with anything. I don't know how we got to this point. I'll do one more lap around, since we're right at that point where that bench is, kind of near the beginning of the trail. I'll do one more lap around. I don't know how in the world we started talking about college and work and everything shutting down and whatnot, but now we're here. Anyway, I think the reason I brought all of that up is because there are a lot of people who focus on the negativity, and I could have very easily done that. I could have very easily gone into a slump in a way and focus on the fact that, one of my jobs shut down probably permanently. The other one's kind of on and off. The whole college thing is kind of getting screwed up for me. I could have very easily focused on that. And to be honest with you, I think that's something that most people would focus on. But I tried to make the most of a negative situation. Tried to take the negative and turn it into a positive. And I like to think that that's exactly what I did. For example, I said to myself, I was like, well, it's not ideal, but at least now I have a little bit more time on my hands to focus on what I truly want to focus on. You see, before I was focusing on what I thought I should be focusing on, and then when those things got taken away from me, it gave me an opportunity of a lifetime to focus on the things that I had been wanting to focus on all along, but I just knew at the time I didn't really have the time. Back then, like I said, I was still figuring out a way to post a video every single day. But that was before I was able to do weekly second channel videos. That was before I was able to start doing live streams. That was definitely before I created the Precious Metals VIP Club, where I live stream at the moment about twice a week, Monday mornings for the market open, and of course Wednesday evenings just as a hangout live stream. So if you're in the VIP Club, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not in the VIP Club, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is in the description. But 2020 screwed a lot of things up for a lot of people. It opened up a lot of doors for me. And it almost sounds wrong to say, but I think 2020 was actually the best year of my life at the time. And what it did for me was open up a new door for the next best year of my life, 2021, because that's where we are right now. We're at the tail end of 2021, and I am so blessed to be able to say that 2020 was the best year of my life, and 2021 was even better. And I'm looking forward to 2022. And I know, like I said, it sounds a little bit strange to say, and I know not everybody will be able to relate to that, but we can focus on 2020, we can focus on 2021, or we can do what we should be doing and start focusing on 2022. We can ask ourselves, what are the steps that we need to take to make 2022 the best year of our lives? You see everything going on right now. What is that? My alarm's going off. I fully believe, and I've been saying this since the beginning of this month, I think the month that we're in right now is more crucial to building an empire than most people probably realize. And a lot of what's taking place this month, right here in December of 2021, can help us set ourselves up for the rest of our lives. But it's also that time to start focusing on 2022. Forget a New Year's resolution. You don't have to wait until January 1st to start setting goals for yourself. You don't have to wait until the first day of the new year to cut out bad habits or start saving or start stacking or start investing or start doing whatever it is that you want to do. Start building a brand, start building a business. You don't have to wait to start exercising, to start eating right. You don't have to go the next couple of weeks doing what you don't want to do. You can start today. And I fully believe that if we focus and keep our head down and plow through, 2022 could be even better than 2021. And that's what my mission is. I want 2022 to be the best year of my life. I want to be making a video this time next year, having the same conversation, saying that 2021 was the best year of my life, after 2020 was the best year of my life, and then 2022 was even better than both of those, and that I'm looking forward to 2023. I cannot wait to be having this conversation this time next year. So again, in conclusion, I know this video was kind of jumbled. I know this video was kind of all over the place. I know this video was a little bit sporadic or back and forth, or, well, hey, I warned you, I warned everyone. Within the first couple seconds of the video, within the first minute, I said this video is not going to be structured, it's not going to be organized. I'm going to be thinking out loud while walking around. Doing absolutely nothing but just walking around, strolling through the woods on this beautiful trail, on this beautiful day. Fortunately for me, living here in New Jersey, that is, have not seen a single bit of snow. I'm happy about that. I'm not a fan of the snow. I'm not a fan of the cold. I'm not a fan of the winter. There's a lot of things I don't like about the snow. Number one, I don't like shoveling the snow. Two, I don't like being cold. Three, I don't like wearing like 16 layers of, shirt and hoodie and then winter jacket and then 2 hats, and I don't like wearing all that. Makes me feel claustrophobic. And no, that's not a phobia of Santa Claus. SpongeBob reference. Anyway, back to the focal point of the video. What I want for Christmas is health, wealth, and happiness. And health, wealth, and happiness are not exactly something you should be asking for, because you can't purchase any of those things and just, put it in a little shoebox and wrap it up in Christmas paper and then hand it to somebody, or put it under the Christmas tree. It's not something you can ask for, but it's definitely something you can work for. That's the way I see it, and as I've been explaining for several years now, and even more so somewhat in this video, I guess, things we can do to take steps in the right direction and capitalize on our consistency. If you have the self-discipline to remain consistent, if you truly want to achieve your goals, you shouldn't have an issue in the world. But health, wealth, and happiness, that's all I want for Christmas. That's all I want for my family, my friends, the people in my life. Health, wealth, and happiness. And like I said, if you have the self-discipline, if you want it bad enough, being consistent shouldn't be a problem at all. And if you're consistent, if you let a little bit of time go by, because you also have to be patient. If you can be patient and consistent while simultaneously taking the right steps, you're going to start to see something called the compound effect, which essentially means the snowball effect. If you know what the snowball effect is, the compound effect is almost the same thing, almost identical. Small steps in the right direction, taken consistently over an extended period of time, leads to compound interest, compound growth. Whether it be from the perspective of health, wealth, or happiness. And I'll give you a quick example of each. Health. If you are generally an unhealthy person, if you're somebody that is completely out of breath just by standing up off the couch, or maybe you get sick every other month, or you just, in general, you're just not feeling very well. Maybe it's self-inflicted, maybe it's not. I don't know. But if you start to take small steps in the right direction, if you forget about the soda, you forget about the beer, and you grab a bottle of water instead. If you put down the French fries and you grab a salad, I know it doesn't really sound that ideal, but hey, those are small steps you can take and begin moving in the right direction. And if you do that, and instead of just sitting around watching movie after movie after movie, and you start maybe taking a walk around the block once a day. I'm not saying you have to go and become a professional athlete or a bodybuilder or start running 10 miles a day or anything like that, but just a quick walk around the block. These are examples of small steps in the right direction. I'm going to take one more lap around. This is the last lap I'm going to do because this video is already going on, I think, like over 45 minutes. This is one lengthy Christmas vlog where I barely even talked about Christmas. But those are some examples of small steps you can take, small steps in the right direction. Eating a little bit more clean, drinking a little bit more water, and getting a tiny bit of exercise. If you wake up tomorrow morning and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to do those 3 things, and then by the end of the day, after you've done those things, and you say to yourself, wow, I see no results, and you just give up, like, oh man, I drank water for a day, and I didn't lose 40 pounds. What's going on? Obviously, it doesn't work that way. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. But if you do those things consistently and you let 3 or 4 weeks go by or 6 to 8 weeks go by, you're going to start to notice a little bit of a difference. You're going to start to notice that you're going to wake up with a little bit more energy than you used to. You're going to start pretty much turning it into a habit to go for the healthy food rather than the unhealthy food. And it all compounds. You're eating cleaner, you're drinking more water, you're exercising, and you're improving your life. That's just the example I wanted to give for working for health rather than asking for health. Happiness could be the same way. I've gone through quite a bit of chaos in my life, and I remember several years ago, before DYDSS was even a concept, I said to myself, I was like, man, I want to be a happier person. I want to be the guy that steps in the room and immediately brightens up people's day. I want to give people that positive energy, but the problem is I don't have that positive energy. So what can I do to get it? What can I do to become a happier person? Not just someone who's in a happy mood, but an overall, in general, happy person. What can I do? So I actually started to study positivity, as weird as that sounds. I started to study happy people. I was reading books such as The Power of Positive Thinking, As a Man Thinketh, which is basically about noble thoughts creating a noble man. So I was reading books on positivity. I was listening to audio of having positive mental attitude. I watched the movie The Secret, which is all about the law of attraction, speaking things into existence. So I started to study happiness, as weird as that may sound. And guess what? I was taking notes. I was noticing things in these movies or in these audios or in these books that were like, hey, I never thought of it like that before. Note taken. I'm going to start implementing that to my life. And basically what I had to do was rewire my brain, which I know that sounds weird as well, but I had to change the way I was thinking, which is exactly what I wanted to do. My initial question was, how do I become a more positive, happier person? And I came to the conclusion that I had to change the way that I was thinking, because I didn't like the way that I was thinking. I didn't like the way that I would wake up on Monday mornings and automatically be miserable. Oh God, it's Monday. I didn't like that. I wanted to be able to wake up on Monday mornings and be excited to take on Monday, which is where I'm at today. In fact, I'm happier Monday through Friday than I am on Saturday and Sundays, mainly because the market's open and I get to see what's going on, and everything kind of slows down on the weekends, but that's actually probably for the better anyway. Gives everybody a little bit of a chance to recharge. But point being, you can't ask for happiness. You have to work for happiness. You have to study it. You have to practice it. You have to try new things out. You have to commit to it. And once again, the compound effect starts doing its thing, and it begins to snowball. And again, if you give it 3-4 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of being consistent, you're going to start noticing some changes. The changes you were looking for. And guess what? Those small changes are going to motivate you to work for even more changes. So that's my example of health. That's my example of happiness. And then when it comes to wealth, the same thing applies. The compound effect, compound interest. Whether it be really anything in the world. I'll use stacking silver as an example. Before I was stacking silver, guess how much silver I had? Yep, that's right, none. How did I get to where I'm at today? how does anybody get to where they're at today, whether they have 10 troy ounces or 100 troy ounces or 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever the case may be? Small steps in the right direction. Somebody that's been stacking for a couple of years, maybe even a couple of decades, and they've yet to part ways with any of their silver. Guess what? They didn't get all that on day one. If they're anything like me, maybe they started with just one singular troy ounce of silver. My first pickup ever was one silver round. That's it. My second pickup, I believe, was 2 silver rounds. My third was probably maybe 5 or 6. However many I could get at the time, because that's when I started getting silver online. So however many ounces I could have gotten at the time to hit that $100 to get free shipping. I think at the time that was like maybe 5 or 6 ounces of silver. And guess what? I've been doing that every month for, by the time this video comes out, almost exactly 4 years. You don't have to get a whole lot of silver. You don't have to convert a whole lot of dollars into precious metals. You could just get one. Get one this week, wait for your next paycheck, and just get one more. You see, I always say in my videos that when I'm done taking care of my financial responsibilities, I like to take a portion of what's left over and put it into silver. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot left over, but the amount that is left over, I like to, pick up a little bit of silver with it. You don't have to dedicate very much of what's left over at all to silver if you don't want. Whatever's left over, you can go and get just 1 troy ounce of silver if you want. You don't have to go crazy. You can go and get 1 silver dime if you want. What's that, like $2? You don't have to get it all at once, is the point I'm trying to make. And the same thing comes to investing, by the way. You see, with stacking, you get 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 troy ounces this month. You do the same thing next month. You do the same thing the month after that and the month after that. And guess what? If you stay consistent and a couple of years go by, that small pile of silver is going to turn into a mountain of silver, trust me. But the same thing goes for investing, by the way. We're not the big dogs. We're not the top 1%ers. We're not these big, massive multi-millionaires. We can't just drop hundreds of thousands of dollars into the stock market on Tuesday. Doesn't work that way. A lot of us, maybe we can only buy a couple of shares of, a couple of companies at a time. Just a little bit here and there. Maybe $100 this week, maybe $120 the last week of the month or something like that. Or maybe you're just maxing out your Roth IRA, which is at the moment $6,000 a year, which is $500 a month, by the way. Small steps in the right direction. At the very beginning, it's not going to seem like very much. In your first year of that Roth IRA, oh wow, a whole $6,000, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. But guess what? Fast forward 10 years, that will have been $60,000 invested, and God only knows how much it'll have grown by that point. And same thing goes for your regular stock portfolio, whether it goes for your precious metal portfolio. When it goes for quite literally anything in the world, the compound effect. Small steps in the right direction, taking over an extended period of time, will eventually take you to where you want to go when it comes to health, wealth, and happiness. That's all I wanted to share in today's video. I know that this had quite a bit of information packed into it. I don't even know if I'm going to be satisfied with how this video came out, but I'm going to post it anyway because why not? Anyway, that's been my walk through the woods. And in conclusion, I want far more for Christmas than just simply precious metals. And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my own terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams. They're smaller and easier to manage. I'm posting exclusive VIP-only adventure vlogs. I also do giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shout-outs, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. And of course, you can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. A bunch of brand new videos over there. Go check them out. The link will be in the description. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have a ton of different designs you can choose from, but we also have the DYDSS Christmas line, only available until Christmas, and it's helping us raise a little bit of funds and awareness for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, so it's for a good cause. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And also, make sure to go and get your 2 free stocks by downloading Weeble. The link will be in the description. For every 3 friends you refer before the end of the month, they're going to give you a spin on the Weeble wheel, and you're guaranteed to land on at least 1 share of Apple. You also have the chance of landing on 2, 3, 5, 7, or even 10 shares of Apple, each worth over $150 right now. Don't pass up on an opportunity. You can always sell them and just get some silver and gold, or really literally anything else in the world if that's what you want to do. Weeble link in the description. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? I understand this was a lengthy video. This was over an hour long. Trust me, I get it. But if there was anything mentioned in this video, if there's anything you were able to take from this video, please let me know in the comments what that thing may be and your response to it. Is your Christmas wish the same as mine? Where all you're really looking for is to take even more steps in the right direction to achieve and work for health, wealth, and happiness. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.